My heart was so heavy. I couldn't breathe. And I sat in that rent-a-car and just screamed and just screamed.
If I text you, I need you to text me back and say, I'm good, I'm breathing. That's all. I don't want that kind of control, but I just need mental control over the fact that you are fine.
But I always say this, I think it gets better with each child. I'll say that. And then also, I think that we train our children and we get them to this point and we want them to be successful and we put all these things in them. And so this is I always say it's the testing ground, right?
Why do parents restrict the freedom of their grown or nearly grown children? I kind of want to talk about that today too. In some cases, if we are honest, we need them too much to let them go. We will find ourselves manipulating to maintain control if we're not self-aware. You raised your best friend.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, Mom. Sometimes, the way you approach it, I feel controlled and I feel judged. Are you feeling criticized? Are you feeling accused? Or are you feeling convicted?
You better not have no opinion. You better have the opinion that I give you.
I can't control anything. And when it comes to my adult daughter's life, she's going to make the best decisions for her.
I don't know what you guys are going through, and I don't know what you're dealing with in your families and your situation, but understand this: the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. You can't save them from everything. Stop trying. And I'm like, hold up.
Excuse me?
We're the parents over here. But I'm learning, and as they're growing, they're learning things.
You'll never fail if you keep going.
If we keep trying to navigate their lives, how do they find purpose?
Okay, well, thank you for continuing to support us. We are Her Presence. And this season we're talking about relationships. In this particular episode, we're talking about the transitioning mother. So if you have been enjoying these episodes, please make sure you subscribe and make sure you share with your friends, your family, those that are connected with you. So I am Andrea, and I'm here with my sisters, Kelli and Melissa.
Yeah.
So ladies, we are all mothers of transitioning children, those that are going into adulthood. Some of our kids are adults. They're adulting. And I want to talk about that on today. We all have war wounds, I would say. Those things that have shown us that our child is really becoming an adult.
Right.
Those things those war wounds that have shown actually end up being pride, the good pride. Maybe grief, though, excitement, all those things there. So I know earlier we were kind of talking about some of those war wounds, I would say. Um, that time when you just had to let go. I think we, at least one or two of us was talking about that first time where you realized you had to let go. I think that was you, Kelli. I don't know. Did you want to share that story really quick?
Yeah. It was college. Preparing my daughter for college, and she was going to be going to college out of state, Atlanta to be exact. And so we were getting all the things she needs for the dorm, getting everything sent or shipped to Atlanta versus us getting everything down there. And got there early, went into the orientations that the parents go through, got the dorm set up, no AC, it was hot, but got the dorm set up. She wasn't quite ready to yet stay. So I was there for a couple more days. So come on back to the hotel. And we just spent time together, before it was time for me to finally, for us to finally have to transition. And that Sunday was probably the most devastating for me because we had to say goodbye.
Mm, mm.
Um,
Hard situation.
Yeah.
Even now.
Mhm.
that's 9 years ago, but I still feel that pain. And so, said our goodbye and went back to the hotel, got hungry, got back into the car and had to pull over. My heart was so heavy. I couldn't breathe. And I sat in that rent a car and just screamed and just screamed. And, what did I just do? What did we just do? Of course, she needs, the education and she needs to further herself and grow, but I'm leaving my baby.
Right.
And so, and I'm saying I'm about to go back home to an empty house with 2 dogs, but kept having to reassure myself, this is the right thing. This is not about you. It's about her. It's her growth. But I just was not, when it was all said and done with, all the shippings of stuff, setting up a dorm, those were kind of my blockers of the reality of what was really getting ready to happen. So yeah, that was a tough one. Still feel it even to this day, but that was a tough one.
Wow.
That was a tough one.
It's crazy. But I understand what you're saying. Even in college, you know, so my daughter, she was away also. The first child was away also. And I just remember thinking, where are you? Like it would be later in the evening, where are you? And what are you doing? And I'm calling, you're not answering phone. I'm texting and you're not texting me back and just thinking the worst. Is she in the ditch? And then when she does call, it's like, Mom, I'm fine. And I'm like, I just need to make sure you're breathing. If I text you, I need you to text me back and say, I'm good. I'm breathing. That's all. I don't honestly really need to know where you are. I don't want that kind of control, but I just need mental control over the fact that you are fine.
Right. Right.
So I know yeah, that is a big, and I would look over at my husband, it would be late at night, and I'm up, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
He's
And
sleeping
and
peacefully.
he's sleeping peacefully, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm like, babe, how you didn't text me back, and he's like, it's okay. Can you just go to sleep? God got them. You right, but it was like, oh my goodness, just um going through that. And it's funny that I say that because we were out of the country not too long ago and we met some people from Singapore, and it's across the world. It's not just, you would say, okay, well, is that just
Yeah.
African American women?
Mm.
Is that just America? Those that are in America? No, it's across the board. So I met some people from Singapore and I was talking to the mother and she said, yeah, I am still struggling with that. And so they have transitioning kids also, right? And she said that, but her husband was like, I'm glad. Get out. Get going. However, what we realized was he had already been out and about. He left home early in life and, had to problem solve early in life. My husband was in the military. He, from the age of 18. And so I feel like also that makes a difference too, not just because they're males and females, the difference between that, I feel like it's because of their life lessons already, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was looking at the fact that you both had daughters who left home first,
Mhm.
and I had a son who left
Mm.
home first. And then you mentioned about your husband had been in the military. And I joined the military and left home at 17.
Wow.
Yes. So it was like
Wow.
I was off to do life or be in a dorm, but I was off doing life.
Mm-hmm.
And so but I always say this, I think it gets better with each child. I'll say that. And then also, I think that we train our children and we get them to this point and we want them to be successful and we put all these things in them. And so this is I always say it's the testing ground, right? It's like,
Right.
okay, all right, here's the moment. Here's the moment. And I just remember with Charles, when we dropped him off, I was like, he was ready, but I wasn't. I still wasn't ready. Although I knew this was the next step, this is what we need to do. I just remember we get in there, we're just trying to set up the room, we're trying to do all these things that mothers do and parents do. Hey, you got this, you got this. We talked about this, we talked about that. Are you ready? You got this? And I mean, I had my plan.
Right.
My plan.
Right.
What we were going to do when we got there and all the things that were going to take place. And Charles just had this look like, I'm good.
It's my time.
I know. I'm like, wait. And I even said, Charles, you're acting as if you're wanting us to leave.
He's
Are
like,
you
well.
wanting us to leave? And he was like, I'm good, Mom. I'm good. And I looked at my husband and I'm like, I think he really wants us to leave. And I'm not ready to leave yet. And so as I was sharing earlier, I still remember his face standing by his dorm door with his name on the door and all the little things that they put on there for freshmen.
Yeah, right.
And this smile that he had on his face. And I think that image will be with me for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because it was reassuring. One, guys, you've done what you were supposed to do. Two, he's ready.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But
But
he's
he is.
ready.
Yeah.
So, and there's a scripture that says, train the child up in the way that they should go. And when they are older, they will not depart from them. And that's where that was the reassurance for me, is we've done all that we can do.
Yeah.
We've poured into this child. We poured into him. And now he's a young man.
Yeah.
And he's ready.
He's ready.
It doesn't make it easy.
No.
Because I was trying not to cry in front of him because I didn't want him to feel, in his moment of excitement, I didn't want to damper that.
Right.
So, but in that car.
Yes. Y'all look good. I was crying right there. Like, are you sure? Wow. You said a couple of things. You said your plan, and then you also said he was ready and you were not. And I know just again, for this particular episode, we were thinking about titles, and it was the transitioning mother, but it's also the weaning mother. I breastfed for over a year. And then when it was time to wean my daughter, that was a hard thing, but she was ready. It was harder on me than her because it was such a bonding period of time from the beginning, right? And so then, you said you had your own plan.
Yes.
But from birth, we had this plan. We are thinking about the future of our child or our children. And then when that time comes, it's always different. It's always different. And I guess that's kind of, you're grieving that in a way too, I guess. But this morning I was reading something. If it's okay, I'm going to read this to you. Why do parents restrict the freedom of their grown or nearly grown children? I kind of want to talk about that today too. In some cases, if we are honest, we need them too much to let them go. They have become an extension of ourselves, and our egos are linked to theirs. Therefore, we not only seek to hold them to us, we will find ourselves manipulating to maintain control if we're not self-aware.
Mm.
We use guilt, bribery, threats, intimidation, fear, anger, and that's if we're not self-aware, right? We use these things to restrict their freedom. And sadly, when we win at this game, it's not really positive for them or ourselves. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
As I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh no, we won't do that, but oh yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
And why do we want to restrict? I think one, in our defense, it's about safety, right? Because one, we love our children so much. From the moment we knew we were carrying them, a love and a bond was being formed and developed. And when the first time you see that face, or you feel that kick, or you hear that heartbeat, you're connected. And it becomes it's almost a treasure, right? Oh my gosh, my little precious everything. They're everything to us. So we do, even as they're growing and they're doing things, we still want to have that. We've had the control over them their whole lives. So in some instances, we still want to maintain that control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to let that control go. So then what do we do to still maintain that control? I do it to my kids. I can admit that. Like, you didn't call your mama
Right.
today.
There it is.
Or you didn't do this. As you were reading that list, I'm like, oh, I'm self-reflecting. As you're reading giving the descriptions, I'm like, go back. What do you do? I do that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll just be by myself today on the couch and watch the movie by myself.
So, I mean, it is. And then if you have such a relationship with your kids that they become like your friends.
Yes,
So
they do.
as adults, I love this age. We can talk about any and
Thank you.
everything. We can travel together. We
Right.
can go, movies are fun. Game night is fun.
Right.
Everything is just fun. So you long for their presence.
Yeah.
You long to be with your kids.
You raised your best friend. Aw.
Yeah.
Really?
But they have their independence.
They
And
do.
I don't know about your kids, but my kids will let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have to say, okay, you're right. All right. Okay. Too far. And I even say, too much? Too much? Okay. So I think there's no book on the right way to do this. There's no book. So we learn as we go, because here's the other thing. Each kid is different. What I do with my oldest, I cannot do with my youngest.
Gotcha.
So it's based on the kids and our relationship with them as individuals. How we relate to them and what we do. Certain things I know I could do with my oldest, my middle I can't do, my youngest I can't do, because they're all individuals.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Great article.
Yeah.
Self-aware. Ugh. I think I failed on that many times. This is my baby.
Yeah.
This is my only child. And so, as you said, you bring that child home and you envision what the world can be with this child in it and the things this child can do. And I know at times I didn't always see it. I'm thinking protection is making those decisions for her, where she has a voice, she has a thought, she has an opinion. And my goal is to protect her and to look at things that she may not be seeing. And that's good. That's part of parenting, but she has to have her voice.
Yes.
She has to have those experiences. And I think from time to time, at least with me, I'm trying to protect her. I don't want her to fall and skin her knee.
Mhm.
but she has to fall. She has to skin her knee in order for her to learn.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes we don't want them to have to go through those hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love what you said is that, now she's getting to become a teenager and she's got a voice and too much, mom, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. Can you stand back a little bit, because if you don't, you're going to stifle their growth
Yeah.
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 and they're going to be dependent upon you because they're afraid to make decisions, afraid to put themselves out there. My daughter now is 26 years old. Probably one of the best relationships besides my outside girlfriends, because as I mentioned before in a different episode, I'm learning from her.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a lot of wisdom. At times, I was a little bit fearful of decisions, but that's her life. We've created a safe haven for her. We've created what we could. Military. I had a military spouse. I was in the military as well. So we made sure we had everything lined up.
Right.
So she wouldn't have to join the military.
Exactly.
And we didn't want her to join the military. I love my military experiences, but you really got to sometimes be strong.
Yes.
And we didn't want to put her in some of those situations. But today, I can reach out to her and say, I'm having a bad day. And she's asking me, let's talk about it. And vice versa. She called me this morning needing something. The weaning part, I think we weaned, but there's still a little bit of times where my adult child, still feels that she still needs us a little bit
And
more.
that's good.
And I still
That's
like
good.
that
Yeah.
though. I like to be needed by my adult child. So
That's
it's been
good.
good. It's been good.
You guys talked about two things that I kind of want to control, or I'm trying to protect, but because I'm doing that, I'm controlling. And and the companionship.
Yeah.
So the other day we were talking about this with another group of people about the different types of love. But let me talk about the control really quick. So I was having a conversation with my daughter and son. We were actually having a family meeting. And one of them brought up, Mom, sometimes. So we were like, what are some other things that we need to talk about? Everybody's good. Do we need to, yeah, Mom. Sometimes, the way you approach it, I feel controlled and I feel judged. Okay.
I've heard that.
So I said, let me ask a couple of questions. The judging thing I'll come back to. I said, but the controlling thing I am struggling with and I get it. And I don't want to do that because I know that you are your own person.
Right.
I no longer have dominion over you like that. And so I am working on that and I apologize, and so and they brought some things up and said, okay, I will be working on that. I will be working on that. And I think that that's growth for us also as mothers when we can say, I get it. Okay. Yep. I take responsibility. Then I said, but let me go back to the judgment. Let me ask you a couple of questions about that. And I know that there's this that people will say, oh, I feel judged. But I personally feel like what is really being said is I feel criticized. Right? That's just me. I might not be right. But I said that to them. I said, I personally feel like what's being said is I feel criticized. And so let me ask you this. Are you feeling criticized? Are you feeling accused? Or are you feeling convicted?
Right.
Because if you're feeling convicted, then I'm not apologizing for that. Because you have grown up in a standard of rules and regulations and the way we should move and all that kind of stuff. You're a free agent in that. But I personally feel like then if we are all in agreement that these are the rules and the regulations that we move in, then you're judging me when you say that I'm controlling. You're judging me when but you're pulling from these different types of values and stuff that we all in this household have moved in for all your life.
Right.
So I don't know if I know I'm so I asked them, do you feel criticized? No, I don't feel criticized. Okay. And actually the bottom line was they were feeling convicted, right? Um, and I said, do you feel accused? Because I never want to accuse you of doing anything, right?
Right.
No, 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 no. Okay, cool. Then I feel like we all owe ourselves in this household, um, based on the rules and the regulations that we have agreed upon, um, um, positive judgment. Like, um, and I don't know how else to say that. Like, you know, I'm judging the situation, maybe not judgment, but judging the situation. Have you thought about this? Do you, in a discussion, in an adult, and from a place of love, let's talk about this. And
Right.
so, I don't know, I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And then the other thing is the companionship. So I'm raising my friend. I'm glad you said that. And then you said, I love the fact that she calls me when she needs something. But I think as a friend, we do call each
Right.
other.
Exactly.
You know, hey, this is what's happening. Can you, just be quiet. I'm just going to tell it. I don't even need you to say nothing. I don't need you to fix it. Or what should I do? Or can you pray for me? Or whatever the case may be. So I had been studying a type of love that you're just born into. It's a built-in love. It's actually called storge, and it's a built-in love. Just born in it. This is just who we are. It's nothing that you can go get, nothing that you can earn. It's nothing that you can go manufacture or anything like that. You're just born in it. When you had your first child, or all the kids, but especially your first child, and they got here, it's that right there, that feeling. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like, oh, I can just eat you up. I don't know. So that, but then there's this filial love, this love that's a companionship that we are now, in my opinion, if it's done right, I now have this type of companionship with my kids that we can just have this conversation. We have game night, and we are respecting each other as adults, and with your opinions, and even hard conversations,
Right.
and conversations that are really can be volatile even. Those kind of conversations, and being able to look at each other and look at our kids and as their own opinion, and say, okay, I get it. Whoa, where did you get that from? So I'm gonna put that out there. I don't know if you guys want to comment on any of those things that I just mentioned.
Well, what I like is the fact that the ability to have the conversations, right? To talk about it. And that's a beautiful thing, because everybody doesn't have that growing up. The ability to share how I'm feeling, talk about what I want to talk to you about this, or I feel this way, or I feel that way. And I say that because we're going to have listeners who may be struggling in that, and having those conversations, or with your children, and having that, because I know growing up in a very traditional home, we my opinion, you got one, what? You better not have no opinion. You better have the opinion that I give you. So you weren't able to voice, and my relationship, I think about my relationship with my mother, how it has changed over the years, because very traditional in, you cannot say what you feel. You weren't able to say those things. Children were to be seen and not really heard, kind of thing. Whereas now we talk to her about everything. Hey, mom, yeah. But they taught what they were taught.
Right.
And it may not have been the best parenting, but they did the best that they knew how to do. So being able to have that ability to speak with your children and let them have their own voice and their own say. But I think also, as they're going into adulthood, is, because I'm learning this with my kids, what may be the value system that I have for us in this house, they may shift.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And the way they feel about things may not be how we raise them to
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Right.
But I think that is a part of finding your way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to find their way. And hopefully, I always say this, what's in them will eventually come out. Because as you learn things and as you grow and you figure out, I remember some things that my mom would tell me back in the day, and I'm like, she has no idea what she's talking about.
Mm.
But now those things come back full circle. And I say, oh, they were right about this. But I think that's a part of adulting is finding your way and not always going the course. And I'm learning that with my kids and having those conversations and like, oh, okay, that's what y'all want to do. That's what y'all doing. Okay. But having the ability to just talk through it, I think is powerful.
Yeah.
And be able to share that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
Yeah. What were your thoughts, Kelly? You like,
no, okay.
okay.
I was making sure. So emotions. What emotions do you struggle with, if any? Is there an emotion you struggle with? Like, do you struggle with fear, um, loneliness? What emotion have you found yourself struggling with? I should say, maybe guilt or uncertainty. Now you kind of mentioned it before, just in the process. Maybe not right now, but at this stage in your life, is anyone struggling with any type of emotion that's connected to the children transitioning?
Hmm. Had fear. Um, but now I've learned to take a step back. I can't control anything. And when it comes to my adult daughter's life, she's going to make the best decisions for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while because it may not have been the way that I would have done some things,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean that the way that she's doing it is wrong. It's in her own way, it's in her own time. And so I've had to learn how to adjust with that and be okay with that
Yeah.
and give her the support that she needs. So that took me a while, but I'm glad I'm here because it also has created a stronger bond with us because she doesn't feel judged, or doesn't feel that I'm not supporting her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of her. I've always been proud of her. May not have done some of the things in that way, but it doesn't mean that the way that she got there was wrong.
Right.
We each have our own line, we each have our own path, and one pathway is no different. As long as you get to where you need to get, you're going to have different, valleys that you're going to go through. But I'm proud of her. I really am proud of her. And I'm proud with even her career path right now.
Cool.
She's in it.
Yes.
She's in what she's always said she wanted to be as a young
And
child.
how about she went in her path?
And went in her path. It went in her path.
Yes.
So
Love it.
can't be more proud.
And I think any emotion you want to talk about it?
No, I just wanted to know a little bit more. What is her path?
Well, she's always wanted to work with children.
Oh.
And
okay.
she's, was looking at psychology when she was in college. And she's working with children with autism.
Oh,
Mhm.
wonderful.
And I
Love
love it because when she was in daycare and they would take their summer trips,
Mhm.
the teachers would always want Michaela to sit with one little girl that was autistic. And Michaela was able to have conversation with the little girl, and the little girl would respond back.
Awesome.
And so Michaela kind of just had a sense of knowing what to do with children that have autism. And
Yeah.
my nephew is autistic.
Mhm.
High functioning. He's crazy the things that he does. But they also had a rapport with one another.
Mm.
So she's in the path where she's always wanted to be in.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
I struggle with uncertainty.
Mm.
I have a 19-year-old, and the 19-year-old in particular is where my uncertainty is,
Mm.
like just when to say something and when not, when to just kind of let him problem solve, and when to step in and give guidance even. Um, I think now that's where my uncertainty is, because I don't want him to go down the wrong road, but then I have to remember that seeds were planted, and I also want to make sure again that I'm not controlling the way that he makes his decision, especially if it's his own path, right?
Right.
So I think for me, it's the uncertainty of when to step in and when not to.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think for me with 3, so
Yeah.
when I go for there's mixed emotions because I feel things are in phases. So, um, one who is 27 or so, you're thinking he's on a certain path and he's doing his thing, but it wasn't always like that. There were some challenges, there were some things. So it's like, okay, he's maturing, he's becoming who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Middle, 21. And I hate to say this, but it's the truth. I think sometimes men takes a little bit longer for that maturity,
Mm-hmm.
and that's researchers. It's not me saying that. I want to, but it sometimes. And so watching the path and watching what they do and some of the mistakes and some of the things, I always have to go back. You didn't always get it right, girl. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
always get it right.
Right. Right.
You, you
Right.
had to skin your knee a few times,
Right.
and you got the scars to prove it.
Right.
But look where you are today.
Exactly.
And so I know what the challenge is, it's the hands off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And,
a challenge.
and knowing, and I'll just share this one thing that has helped me. I went to a CC Winans concert when she was here, and she started out with saying this: I don't know what you guys are going through, and I don't know what you're dealing with in your families and your situations, but understand this: the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
Period.
That was so freeing for me in that moment because I was going through something with my middle son at the time.
Can you repeat what you said? The C, because I said period when you finished. Because
The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. It's a promise.
period.
So that was such a freeing moment for me. It's like, hands off, girl.
Yeah.
He got them just like he
Right.
had you. He has a
Right.
plan for them just like he had for you. And sometimes the
Period.
challenges and the things that they're going through is only making them who they are expected and are going to be. So when sometimes I'm so proud of all of them, but they go through their various challenges and things that may at the time I'm not happy about, but I have to sit back and say, guess what? He's forming them. He's building them. That
Period.
character is
That's
being
good.
developed. And know this, they will come out and be what the plan is supposed to be. Because again, I got my plan and I had it all lined up on how it was going to be this way and that way. And I think that's what God does. He kind of laughs and says, ha, you think you got a plan? No, I have the plan. So that's what I'm learning to do. I'm learning, and I didn't get this overnight. This has been a journey from the oldest to the youngest. Hands off. You've done everything you can do. You all have trained them. You have taught them. They know the word better than you because it's been in them since they were little. So now watch it unfold. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's the wanting to prevent them from skinning the knee.
So how you said it's not easy. So how are you setting up that boundary for your own self?
When I find myself, I step back.
Mhm.
So I have to have that constant reminder. And you know what? And you said you learned from your daughter. I learned from my oldest. There was one time, and I'll give an example. There was something going on with one of the kids, and my oldest was like, "Okay, let's talk about this. You can't save them from everything. Stop trying." And I'm like, "Hold up.
Excuse me?
We're the parents over here."
Can you tell
But I'm learning, and as they're growing, they're learning things. They're being exposed all the stuff that we put in them, and then we send them off to these wonderful institutions of higher learning. They're coming back with knowledge that they can from their own professions and from their own experiences that they can share with us. So now they used to glean from us. Now I'm gleaning from them. Like,
Right,
okay,
right, right.
all right, okay, that's psychology. Okay, it's working. So but it takes time. It's a step, it's a process, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
I wish I would have had a lot more knowledge growing up with the kids, but now it's like a sponge. If we can always be ever willing to grow and learn. No situation is final. Uh, if they skin their knee, it's not final.
Mhm,
If they make a mistake, it's not final.
mhm.
I think about the mistakes that I've made in my life. At one time, I was struggling with one of my kids. They were not doing well in school. I went back and pulled out one of my transcripts, and I showed it to them. And because they think Mama is never made a mistake or never did, baby, look at that transcript. I had to take that class over twice.
Mhm.
And I think that was revolutionary. Like, what?
Mhm.
Being willing to share my failures, they were not fatal, they were not final. But guess what? At the end of the day, what does that transcript say? Degree earned.
Right, right.
Period. Just keep going.
Just
Just
got to
keep
keep going. And you're going to make mistakes, but it's okay.
You'll never fail if you keep going.
That's it.
You know what? And I like everything you just said here too, because we pray over our children
Yes.
from the minute they were born up till and still do it to this day. And, there are life lessons that God is preparing them for and
Yes.
trying to deal and work within them. And when we don't think they're progressing fast enough, whatever that is, and we get ourselves in the middle of that, we are setting our kids back 10 times back because God, it's already got this.
Right.
And you
Right.
coming in here trying to play God. And so, putting your hands, sitting on your hands, closing your mouth, I've had to do that, because I am praying and have prayed, over my daughter. And I've got to let God do what God's supposed to be doing,
Yes.
and not coming in there and messing some things up.
And I think you asked the question earlier, you said something about purpose.
Mhm.
If we keep trying to navigate their lives, how do they find purpose?
Yeah, their
How do
own
they live
purpose.
out their purpose?
How they apply,
It's
how
not
is
our
it
purpose, it's
application?
theirs.
Yeah.
How did they
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That
they
makes
have
sense.
a purpose and they've got to find that purpose. They've got to live in that purpose just like we had to.
And it's going to be beautiful.
It
It is going to
is.
be
It
beautiful. It is
is.
going to
It's going to
because
be wonderful.
for me, I didn't finish I didn't finish my undergrad till I was 35. And the reason why is my at the time, my husband and I said, she's not going in the military. So we got to make sure we got our education,
Right.
so that we can practice what we preach. And then I got my master's at 38.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably wasn't in the time frame my parents had for me.
Right. Right.
It got done.
It got done.
It got done. So it's the same thing. I can't hold on to something for her that's not right for her at that time. But again, it's that prayer too.
Yeah.
God knows what she needs, and He's going to make sure that she's prepared for it and that it's delivered.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we you talked about we kind of touched on and it was when we were talking about, like, maybe the manipulation part and all the things that trying to make them feel guilty and all this kind of stuff. Um, and we've kind of talked about how our identity has kind of changed in their relationship with them. Um, so how do you stay connected? Like, if we can think of examples of what we've done, how do you stay connected with the kids now, with your
Mhm.
children now, without um being manipulative, without being overly involved. What does that look like now,
Mhm.
um, for you? Um, I know for me, again, we have family meetings and we
Mhm.
just kind of talk about, well, this is how I'm feeling, and they'll talk about all their feelings. And I do want to still have some time together. So in your schedules, can we agree to do
Mhm.
this, or can we agree to do this? And because now that is my expectation, it's satisfied. I'm
Mhm.
not disappointed, right? That they're not here like they used to be,
Mhm.
because now it is shifted to a new kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So what about you guys? How do you stay connected? How is that kind of evolved now?
I think you have to be intentional with it too, because now that they are all either out of the house or living their own lives or doing their own things away at school, my life has become filled with other things.
Hmm.
So we're busy. We've got our lives going on. So now it takes intentionality to say, hey guys, what I love doing is because I love to host, I love to do those things. All right, is everybody available on this? Using technology as your friend. Group chat. Hey, what's going on? Keep me posted on blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
So finding ways to be intentional about staying connected. You
Yeah,
have to be intentional.
I like that. Intentional.
Or we'll say, and I'm spontaneous too. I'm one of those people, hey, everybody free? Let's go to a movie.
Hmm.
So it is being intentional, but also leaving room for their freedom as well,
Right.
to respect their schedules, to respect their time, but also saying, hey, you free? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cool.
Ditto.
mm,
On what you just said. I like our talks. I like when she calls me and we just talk. And it's not it's woman to woman.
mm,
It's that type of talk. I get to listen and hear her perspectives and how she approaches things, and I love it. I love it. A couple weeks ago, she took me to the range.
ooh, love it.
We hadn't been to the range in like years. And she says, after church, can I come pick you up and let's go to the range? And we went to the range and had a great time. I got a little bit nervous on shooting what I had to shoot, but she was like, "Mom, let me show you. I got it. I got it." But I like our time because our time is really authentic, and it's maturity. It's just um, it brings joy to my heart because this is a fine woman in this world,
Mm,
She is.
I
Yeah.
love
a
that.
fine woman in this world,
Cool.
smart,
Very
Mm,
smart.
um, got it going on.
Yes.
mm,
Yes. Okay.
love that. Love it.
So, um, you mentioned that uh, you have actually are doing other things now. Now that they are moving and doing their own things, you are now doing things that Melissa wants to do.
Mhm.
And I know for me, I'm doing things that Andrea wants to do, and Kelly, I'm sure you're doing the same. I know you are doing things that Kelly wants to do. What are those things? I mean, because there are probably people who are listening in and
Mhm.
would need, examples of what that looks like. What does that look like? What is that? I'll let you guys go first, and then
Okay.
I'll give some examples of what we do.
So one thing that and I'm huge about vision boards and things like that. Planning out what you think your year is going to look like, uh, you know, putting it down. What are my desires? What are those wishes? What are those grand things that I want to do? And for many years, I have wanted, there's three things I wanted to do. I want to play the piano.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get them lessons.
Okay.
I want to learn Spanish. So
Okay.
I'm partnering with a friend, and all the only way we communicate is in Spanish.
Mhm.
So and until we decide to take it even further.
Mhm.
And then I need to learn how to swim. I get all my kids know how to swim, and they got all had swimming lessons. So it's something I need to do. It's
Okay.
my turn. So, and then this podcast and other, business ventures, things like that. But those are things that when I make out my vision for the year, the things that I want to do, that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm working on.
I love it.
Yeah. Write it down, make it happen. It'll
Yeah.
happen. I believe it.
I'm a vision board girl too.
Okay.
So I get it. My vision board had me start a business.
See?
So shortly after we sent the daughter to college, I started a business,
Awesome.
a janitorial business, K&M Cleaning and Management Resources. I'm a DIYer.
Okay.
Okay, so I like to do DIYers. Now, I'm not the greatest, but I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Cricket. So I have a DIY room
Did you hear that,
in my
Cricket?
house.
Hold
I know
on.
Cricket, right? Cricket, Michael's. And so I like to partake in that.
Yeah.
And then my dream has always been a podcast.
There it is.
So partnering with you has been a pleasure because like-mindedness and like-mindedness.
Yes.
So I have also in some organizations here in San Antonio, and one is worldwide. So it keeps me busy. I do a lot of volunteerism with one of my organizations. So I am sounding a little froggy, but it keeps me busy, and I like that. I need to be busy.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's been my pleasure.
Awesome.
Cool. So, vision board. I like going to the vision board parties.
Yes, we know.
Where's the coffee? I'll sit over here and laugh with the conversation. I'll put a little picture here and there, but no. For me, which is the same idea, is I am a forecaster. So in the fourth quarter of the year, for the next year, I forecast what is it that I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
or where do I see myself in 12 months. Typically, I do. Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do to get there?
Mm.
Where do I see myself all the way down to a year? And so now I'm forecasting for that year. And in order to get there, what do I need to do each month? What do I need to do each week? And then what do I do each day? And what am I doing today?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this pursuit of happiness that is established because I'm hitting those benchmarks, right? And so, with the same idea as the vision board,
Mhm.
as you said, there are things that I've always wanted to do. We have always wanted to have a coffee shop,
Oh.
always. And so 2 years ago, we forecast that we want to have had a building by the end of this year, right? And so that was 2024. So by November of 2024, we had a building,
Nice.
right? And then by the end of this year, we want to have, certain things happen, right? And so we were hitting those benchmarks. And so the prayer is that by the end of this first quarter, that we will be open,
Mm-hmm.
ribbon cutting, all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited. Wormhole Coffee House. Hey, San Antonio.
That's cute.
Shout out.
Yes. Wormhole Coffees. So I'm really excited because this place is going to be a hub for outreach, for
Mhm.
trainings, where we're actively doing grants for the community and the surrounding communities also. So I'm really excited. So yes, as we transition, and our kids are doing what they're supposed to do, that's not the end of the road for us. And we're still doing beautiful things. And so I'm so excited
Absolutely.
about hearing what we're all doing.
And I would say too, for those listeners, it is hard with the transition, but you've got to find a way through it, and community and finding, as Andrea brought this up, this is so important that you do have something to, you can never feel that with your child leaving, I don't want to say the gap, but you've got to find something to keep yourself busy.
Right.
Because if not, uh, that loneliness can tend to creep in. And if you're married, it's reestablishing that relationship with your spouse, in the sense of the kids are now gone. Who are we again? We've been
True.
parents for
True.
20 something years. So now how do we reignite that flame in our relationship? So that's a huge part, but just having community and making sure you stay involved in something.
Yes.
Because for 20 something years, you've been involved in little
Right.
people's lives, in every aspect of their life.
Right.
So you now have got to find something to keep your mind and staying busy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Be
Cool.
purposeful on that one.
Yes.
You
yes.
have to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So, to the listeners, write in. Don't forget to subscribe, but write into us. Tell us about a moment when you realized that your child didn't need you anymore and how that felt. Tell us about that. And then tell us how you solved that issue. Tell us about why you think letting go is difficult, even when you know it's healthy to let go. Tell us about what you're doing now. How are you redefining who you are? How are you feeling up your day? Remember, what you think about all day is who you are. So what are you thinking about right now? And what have you found yourself thinking about? Right? Are you thinking about your kids all day and they're an adult? You might want to shift to something else and think about yourself and your support and your community and how you're reaching. Find another project, because your child, that project is a beautiful thing. And if you step back and look, you can see how successful that project has been and how God has been covering you and will continue to cover you in that situation. Any other action plans that you guys can think of? Not action plans, but call to actions that you guys can think of for our listeners.
If they can share some of the things if they share what they're doing, and if you can drop some of those resources for others, that would be amazing. So, maybe you took up some type of yoga, Pilates,
Workout.
whatever you're doing, found this gym, found this activity, share it with us. Some type of community outreach, or, there are a lot of grassroots efforts going on right now. So what are you doing? Share it so we can know as well.
Yeah, we want to celebrate with you. Share what you're most proud about when you think about yourself and what you have accomplished in this new identity, right? And I'm sorry, were you?
And they don't have to be large.
No.
They can be small steps.
Yes.
As long as you're moving forward.
Right. Well, that's it for this episode. So glad that you guys joined us on today.